Welcome to the Berks Homes podcast, the business of building homes. I'm Katie. I'm here with my brother Ben, and today we are talking about being back on the podcast again.
When was the last podcast we did?
Don't ask me that. March?
Okay.
Was it March? Yes, it was March.
Yeah.
We are back because our mother keeps texting us and asking us when we are doing a podcast again.
Yeah.
God
So we have
bless her.
lots of free time just to sit here and do the podcast.
Now we do because everybody is doing such a great job.
Yeah, we just filmed our mid-year update,
Mm-hmm.
and we were so ecstatic with the results that we decided to do a podcast.
Exactly. Seriously, though, we are having a great year, and the lack of podcasts has nothing to do with anything bad. It has to do with all things coming together, working. Again, both times, we took a couple breaks over this past year and a half, and it's just because we're grinding. We are just getting a lot of great things accomplished with the teams, and now we have the opportunity to kind of relax a little
Yeah,
in our thoughts only
sure.
and take some time to have some conversations again.
Right.
So during our little break, we put a survey out to the employees to kind of just get some feedback on what they want to hear about when we ramp this podcast back up again. I wanted to take some of the questions, like you had multiple people asking some of the same things or the same themes, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to answer some of the questions that came up from the survey before we get into what topics we're going to be going over going forward.
Yeah.
So you want me to just launch right into those questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Number one
question was, who is this podcast for? And that's valid. It is a very valid question because we kind of just have been meandering,
Sure.
you know, and whatever topics we want to talk about, we have. But the original intention was just to be able to have a better communication with the employees.
Yeah, when you look at the numbers of people in the company, number one was 150 plus employees. That's one thing, but we are all very spread out. The nature of our business is a wide geographic reach.
Yeah.
So we can go 6 months, almost a year without seeing one person sometimes,
Yes.
depending on where they are, right? So usually no more than 6 months. But at that point, you know, we have people that we see here in this office almost every day.
Right.
But everybody else, it's hard to actually have a conversation with multiple times a week or month. And so this is just a way to talk like we always do with a microphone in front of us about what's going on. Yeah, I think it is hard because it gets published out there in the, you know, on the interwebs, but it's really for us as a company and everybody in the company.
Well, and that kind of goes into the second question, and we can come back to who it's for also. But to answer the second question was, you know, what does this have to do? Like, how does this help market us? Like, what does it have to do with marketing? And the answer is nothing. This podcast is not for selling, like marketing and selling our homes at all. If anything, it's branding. It's to give everyone when I say everyone, our audience, our employees, an understanding of who we are and our brand, what that means to be a part of Berks Homes, not as a marketing tactic to sell and build homes.
Right. And it's available
Sure.
to homeowners, potential buyers.
When you have a moment of brilliance,
Right.
we will cut that into a little clip and post it.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. It's available. But it is more, like you said, for our employees and other stakeholders, you know, our trades,
Right.
anybody we work with or want to work with, to know who they're dealing with.
That was the original intention,
Yeah.
was employees. But then as we got into this, we're going, oh, this is our partners too.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. It's who we work with so that they understand, you know, what our philosophy is on things, who we are as people.
Right.
all that.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's people, that are on the outside, the periphery of the company, like our financial advisor,
Yeah.
Paul Lounces, who he will be listening to this. Hi, Paul. Yeah. Loves all things Berks Homes. So that's the intent. And I think it gives everybody maybe some context to how decisions are made.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes, it's great to have a lot of input, but let's face it, when you're trying to make decisions on behalf of a business, you can't ask everybody all the time. Sometimes you can't ask anybody.
Right.
You need to make a decision in the spot. And it affects people, but I think the intention is that everybody understands the context of the people that they're dealing with and the humans that we are, why we might make decisions.
Yeah, and even in certain situations, depending on what comes up and what topics people want to know about, we have the opportunity to say why, why we may have taken action in one way without, asking anybody if that's the situation, or why we decided one way over another. This just is easy for us way to be able to communicate that.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's a good way to put it.
Again, this is for our employees, current and future, for our partners, same thing, to get an understanding of our business, our company, and who we are. And it is not being used to sell unless you find a great way to do that. But that's not our intention.
I don't think anybody's using my sound clips to sell.
I told you, moment of brilliance. It may strike someday. Probably not in a hot afternoon.
No.
Let's see, another question is, isn't it a little risky to put out so much of our information to the public? And that has come up in multiple ways in this survey, but also in any conversations we're having, anybody that signs up with us, to work with us in different ways. Like, aren't we afraid of sharing and being as transparent as we are?
I think it's a great question, probably something that requires a little bit of a deeper dive. And really what it shows is an explanation of what we think of competition. Right?
Oh, that's a good way to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I would say we're both extremely competitive human beings. We want to win at things in life, just in all aspects. And so it is important to both of us and all the leadership here to want to win in everything. And what that entails looks a lot different than the term competition. People, companies, home builders that you're competing with. I would just say it like this: it's important to understand the market.
Yeah.
Right? And it's important to understand what's going on around you. You cannot focus inward and run a successful business. You have to be aware of as many outside influences as possible and take what you can from all that information. You don't want to base all your decisions on what others are doing, because then you're just going to be like everybody else. So it's a fine balance of understanding and then making the decision and following through with whatever you want to do based off of your instincts and who you are as a company.
You're competing with yourself.
Right. So our philosophy as a group here is that we could say literally anything down to going down our financial packet each month, and that probably it doesn't scare us because
it's not a threat to our success.
Right, because we feel like our group of employees and our reputation and our brand and our product, all those things that are uniquely us is what drives us forward.
Yeah, it's the combination, the alchemy of it all working together that makes us successful, not just a number or like a process or a person, a role. Each of those little things on their own isn't going to be the thing that makes somebody else beat us.
Right.
And sharing them isn't. So I mean, from a threat standpoint, we don't feel like it's risky, but also from a more, see, I always go to the positive. It's just my nature. I can't help it. But I genuinely believe that by us sharing everything that makes sense out into the industry is only going to help it.
Right.
You know?
Right. You want to raise the level of, quality and professionalism for everybody, so it's a level playing field.
Exactly.
When it comes down to competition, we lose all the time in some avenues when we have to compete against the giants, the public builders. We're already starting out way below them in terms of what they can offer to a land owner, right? In terms of just the sheer dollars, right? They're always going to be able to pay sometimes significantly more. That doesn't mean that they always get the project, though.
Right.
Because we have other stuff
that
we can offer.
And we capitalize on our unique strengths and our unique combination of great things.
Right.
So there's an appeal there that can't be replicated.
Right. And it also goes back to a long-standing conversation that we've had about the idea that there's always enough.
Yeah.
Not getting new agey or anything, but this mindset of abundance versus scarcity.
Yeah.
There's plenty for everybody, right? Even though land is somewhat scarce, it's still in our world. There's always enough opportunities. It's just how are you going to capitalize on the majority of them?
Exactly.
And so there's no need to hoard information or ideas or anything.
Yeah.
We don't have any magic.
Well, and that's the other thing is most people in our industry operate relatively the same. There are industry standards, there's standard practices. The standards run by the NAHB.
Right.
Everyone attends the builder show and learns the same things every year.
It's just regurgitated differently.
Right. And we do have the opportunity to make it our own, have improvements and interesting ways of implementing the things that are recommended. But at the end of the day, it is all very similar, and there is not a lot going on up here.
No. But I will say, and I do love to hear this stuff. I stopped at a house yesterday and saw one of our trades, and I've heard this multiple times, but I just always like to hear it again. And he said something about one of our competitors and working for them in their communities versus us. And he said 10 times out of 10, I would work in a Berks Homes community over this company.
That's so nice.
And I think it's worth saying because that is a direct reflection of all of our employees.
Yes.
So it's not just us or the leadership. It is the people that they're working with.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's awesome. You can do everything the same way, and somebody can still want to work with company X over company Y.
Yes. And I guess that's the thing that can't be stolen, copied, replicated is the people that work here.
You can't steal our joy.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that's why it doesn't feel like a risk. It doesn't feel like anything other than we are so fortunate to have the people that we do here.
Yeah. I think that's a totally valid thing. Yeah. Something that I'm sure somebody will ask us again.
Yeah.
I
don't think we'll ever change our answer.
Right. Right. But at the same time, there's valid concerns. Anytime the market shifts, our industry's very touchy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's very hot and cold. And so there's always concerns about stability in home building. And everything that we've done in the last couple of years is to shoot for a measure of stability.
Yes.
And take out the stress of this, like you said, boring, predictable. Those are great words in this industry. And that's what we're shooting for. And so it's to calm everybody down when we have a tough month of sales or a tough month of delays or something, and to say, no, we're good.
We're good.
So
Yeah, exactly. So we only had a couple of themes questions. That was all that came up. So the other thing I wanted to ask you about is to see kind of what you're hyped about right now.
Well, we'll go positive on the delays, but we've had a handful of communities that we've had so much rain. Much rain.
I mean,
it's just been epic. It's crazy.
Mushrooms are growing everywhere.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Yeah, we live in the Amazon.
Yes.
It's the torrential downpour season. Because of that, we've had, let's just call it 4 or 5 communities that have been delayed opening and going back to like March until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so part of the reason why I think earlier this month we struggled with sales is we just have limited stuff to sell that we didn't anticipate.
We're winding things down and the next things aren't opening yet.
Yeah, we only have a handful of communities that were in that sweet spot.
Yes.
Of having started a while ago and still having a bunch of lots. So it's always tough in the beginning and tough at the end.
Yep.
Right? So alternatively, we're about to open a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I am hyped about these new opportunities because they're all exciting.
Yes.
And, the second half of the year, we're going to have a lot of stuff to offer new buyers and even in different markets.
Yeah.
Which is always fun to see how, when you're new in a market, to see what it's like. Trying to understand what makes it tick.
Yeah.
Finding that sweet spot. So that's what I'm excited about, I would say, over the next 6 to 8 months. A bunch of these new things coming online and seeing how we do. A lot of them are like priced really well,
Right.
Again, going back to our target market, our first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, affordability continues to be, the word. And the stuff that we have coming on is right in there,
Yeah.
stuff we feel good about.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's hyped about the fact that we are getting out and seeing all of our communities.
Yeah.
So we have a regularly scheduled day now that we're going out, kind of just checking out those new areas, checking out new communities, seeing what's going on in current communities, and really getting a feel for our product.
Yeah.
That is not just, we get out, obviously, when there's a new floor plan. We've talked about that before.
Sure.
You do a new floor plan walkthrough or just, there's different reasons to go out. But the opportunity for us to see the product that customers are selecting.
Yeah. During
construction.
Yeah.
As a finished product, understanding what the market's wanting right now.
Yeah.
The fact that we have a community where we would see the same floor plan, repeated over and over when there's 8 floor plans available.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Right. And just seeing what's hitting right now and what people want, what's appealing, why they would choose us over somebody,
somebody else.
Beginning of a project.
Yeah.
And then we take over and,
Yeah. Have a couple that were in the second phase. Somebody else did the first phase.
And so the first time you drive up to the community, you go, that's not ours.
That's not ours. Yeah.
But then you get, happy when you get through it and see our stuff. It looks so great then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That to me has just been really eye-opening. And I have been on job sites for my 45 years. And it has been really great to see just the efficiency and the way these have been running.
Yeah. The level of care.
Yeah.
The attentiveness to detail that everybody has.
Yeah.
When they're running these jobs, the follow-up on questions that we might have or
everybody
has
an answer for whatever's happening.
Yeah. And these are, by design, not announced.
No.
Just go out. But it's not to check up on people as much as just to get an everyday view of what's going on, so we can understand what it's like as a buyer.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. I want to see it through the lens of a prospect or a homeowner.
Yeah.
What's it like to be here? Because you can get so entrenched in the day-to-day and the business, and it's like you really have to make yourself pull back out and say, okay, what would this look like if I was driving into this community for the first time as a prospect, or
it's awesome.
somebody who lives there.
Yeah, it's great.
So anything else that we have going on? I mean, we were just talking about AI, but that
AI
is a whole episode.
I don't know anything about it. It sounds great, though. Very intrigued.
Right. It's actually going to be a thing in our industry.
It's going to be a thing, yeah.
Yes.
It's definitely, it's been a thing.
It's
going to be a bigger thing.
Talked about for a really long time, and it's like, oh, okay, now people are actually
people are using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think the next thing that everyone can expect is just kind of consistent, more series type things. We got a lot of great feedback, again, from the survey. If you didn't fill it out, feel free to do so. I do know that we did ask people if they want to be guests or not. If you want to answer the survey anonymously and give us all the hardcore feedback, and then separately email that you want to be a guest, absolutely you can do that.
You can do both.
You can do both.
Yeah. Did we get a bunch of people saying that they wanted to be guests?
Yes.
Nice.
That's a series.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Starting with Brandon.
That's right. Do you have any shout outs today?
Shout outs? Oh, man.
Put you on the spot.
I mean, I'm going to go with Steve Giberson.
I was going to say him.
Yeah.
Because we were just out.
Yeah. Steve is our production manager in South Central region. And by and large, the job sites that we went to on Friday were excellent. They looked fantastic. And like I said, there's a lot of attention to detail and thoughtfulness put into running those jobs. And I was just very pleased. And that's Steve. So he deserves a shout out.
Exactly. That's what I was going to help you out there if you didn't say that.
Yeah. Top of mind. Top of mind.
It really is. So thanks everybody for putting up with us on our break, and be prepared to be sick of us again soon.
Yep.
Have a good one.
See ya.